Yes.
Go ahead.
Hubert, does it feel at all like a red flag? You guys were up 16, and then the next thing you know, it's a 5-point game. Is closing out, an issue?
I don't think closing out is an issue. That from that particular area, I don't think it's a red flag at all. I don't think there's a red flag in terms of our team. I think there's some yellow flags. I think there's some yellow flags in terms of our toughness. I think there's yellow flags in terms of our sustained effort. I think there's some yellow flags in terms of our commitment to defense. I think there's some yellow flags in terms of our commitment to the scouting report and doing the things that you've been asked to do. I think there's some yellow flags in terms of getting to the offensive glass, and I think there's some yellow flags in terms of sharing the basketball in terms of good to great. And so I don't think there's any red flags, but there's a number of areas where there's some yellow flags that need to be changed and will be changed.
Are you surprised that some of those yellow flags have been through the three games?
I am. I really am. That's the shocking thing. I am. I really felt like at the beginning of the year that there would be a hunger and a thirst. And I really felt that. And I was excited about it because I felt like it was coming from different directions, different viewpoints. So from, the guys that played major minutes last year and decided to come back, there's a hunger and thirst. For the guys that have an opportunity that didn't play last year but have an opportunity this year, hunger and thirst. The freshmen that have joined here and a hunger and a thirst to be a part of it. And then, transfers, which is only one, Pete, being a part of something that he's never experienced before, hunger and a thirst. And so I am surprised. I am. I'm very proud of the team. I'm very happy that we won. But the sustained effort and energy and the joy of being out there on the floor and having a chance to compete every day and see what this team can accomplish. It's not where it needs to be. It's not consistent, and as I said before, it will change and it will get better.
It seemed like the way Pete played tonight was a positive to take out of this. Just be able to get him going and maybe get him to some of his spots. Did you like that? What you saw out of him and the way you guys were able to get him going?
Yeah, I did. I thought, he was in a really good rhythm on the offensive end in the first half. That's something that I see every day at practice. So for that, from an offensive standpoint in the first half, for that to be on display was terrific. But he had 16 at halftime, and he only had 18. One of the things when it was a long time ago when I played, if I had 16 in the first half, my teammates are going to scream and get me the ball and continue to do that. And so to have 16 in the first half, and I don't know how many shots he took in the second half, as a team, we've got to do better than that. And then, as well as Pete played, on the offensive end, I was really happy he got in the rhythm in the first half.
2 shots in the second half, Kirk says.
Yeah, I would. As I said, that was a long time ago. But if I had 16 in the first half and only had 2 in the second half, there would be some discussions with my teammates.
RJ said something similar to what you did about Joy, saying his hope for the next game is that he wants everyone to play in a way that is joyful. How do you inspire joy for your team so that they get that hunger and thirst back moving forward?
That's a great question. One of the things that I talked to him about before the game is I saw an Instagram post this morning, and it was a post of the UNC JV team. And after one of their games, they were all jumping around in the locker room. And so one of the things that I shared with them was that it brought back my memories of being head coach for the JV team. So 9 years as an assistant with Coach Williams, 7 of the years I was the JV coach. And I told the team that that was really the birth of me having a passion to be a head coach. And the reason being is being around the JV team, there was no noise. Nobody on the JV team was thinking about entering the draft. Nobody on the JV team was thinking about their NIL deals. I didn't have one meeting, one call, one text, one tweet from a parent talking about roll, shots, minutes. It wasn't anything. All the JV guys, the only thing that was on their mind was they couldn't believe that they were a part of this program, that they could put on that uniform, and every day that they could practice and play on the place where the varsity was. It was just pure. And so I told the team, what's the difference between the JV and you guys? The only difference is naturally you've been gifted more than them. But other than that, what is the change? And so, you know, that RJ is right. Whatever weight, whatever noise, whatever is holding them back from having that joy, having that passion, having that freedom to enjoy being a part of this program and playing on this team and trying to become the best that we can become, I think that's the number one thing that has to improve and has to change.
Speaking of RJ, he said that Coach Lebo has nudged him the last few games. You don't take enough charges, he says. And then he took the key charge at the end of the ball game and obviously had the double-double with rebounds. How would you describe just how important RJ is to you guys?
RJ is the heart of this team. Plain and simple, period, the end. When he goes well, we go well. And he's the perfect example of a Carolina basketball player that does it at a high level, not only on the court, but in the community and in the classroom. And for him, it was the second double-double that he's had. The first one was in the national championship game. I told him this was the first one with a win. And but he out-rebounded everybody. And it wasn't about technique. It's because he wanted to get the ball. And he wanted to take the charge. So if we can get 18 guys that want to do that on a consistent basis, then we might have something here.
Time for 2 more. Noah?
I remember I asked you last year about, energy, effort, and toughness and what it would take for you to, having to stop mentioning that to the team. And now you're talking about hunger and thirst. What is it going to take for you to stop mentioning that to the team so that they, continually have hunger and thirst? Because y'all have got some, tough games coming up.
Well, all of our games are tough. It's hard to win at this level, and we respect every opponent, and every time that we have an opportunity to compete, it's always going to be tough. We're going to get the best out of every team we play, regardless if it's non-conference or conference play. We'll continue to talk about it. We'll continue to practice it. One of the things that I think helps with hunger and thirst is playing time. Lack of playing time. As I said before, a long time ago since I played, but I do remember that gets your attention. And that's one of the things that over the next 3 or 4 days, it will be addressed, it will be reevaluated, and it will be tweaked and pivoted and changed and altered to make sure that we're playing the way that we can play out there on the floor.
One last one.
Hubert, go ahead, Brent.
I was just going to say, defensively, RJ said that some of the rotations and the weak side help was unacceptable in terms of allowing the points in the paint. Is that just another one of those things where it's about commitment to the scouting report and energy?
100%. I told them at halftime, I said it's very difficult to do the exact opposite of what the coaches have asked you to do. That seems to me to be harder than to do what you've been asked to do. So somebody says, do this, and then go, I'm not gonna do that. and I'm gonna actually do the opposite thing. That's very difficult to do. It's actually harder. And so, that was very confusing to me in the first half, and at times in the second half, very confusing as well.
One last one, Adam, here on the left.
Hubert, Armando said that you told him, we'll see you Thursday. I don't know if that was ominous or not, if you intended it to be ominous to them, but when you're talking about the next 3 or 4 days here, like, what would you like to get accomplished? Or what would you like you take tomorrow to work it up mentally and then give it to them on Thursday?
I don't have to work it up mentally, I'm there. There's no lack of energy, effort, and toughness in anything that I do, so I don't need to rev it up. I'm always there. I can practice tonight. I can go tonight. And we have to give them a day off tomorrow. So I'm obligated by rules to do that. But I'm ready to go tonight. And so I can't wait for practice on Thursday. I'm very excited about it. I'm ready to go.
Thanks, everybody. Thanks.